do I grow stream? I'm affiliate now. Haha. I want to get sub goal. Yes. Like, and then they're like, why aren't you answering my question? I type it again. Why? Answer my question. Did you read my message? And I'm just like, bro.
Hello, and happy time zone, everyone. Welcome back to Virtual Offline, the offline yet online podcast about all things anime, manga, gaming, and life. I am Striker Sly. Hello, guys. Introduce yourself. with words. And I'm joined today by Jamie Jam KK and Fofamit, of course. Dingle butts, you guys. So, I have a bit of a hefty topic today. And we're going to be talking about things not to do on Twitch. Every streamer has rules for their own streams, but some things are left unsaid, as should be, and what we would be what we would consider, what do you want to call them, common sense rules. But we know that common sense isn't really common sense, and we're going to be diving in to discuss the hard truths about etiquette in live streams from a viewer and a streamer's perspective. All of us are streamers. Yes.
Yes.
Maybe. And we had an earlier episode about like trolls and harassment on our channel. So we're kind of going to tie a little bit into that to talk about etiquette in streams as well. I have a question. Of everything we know as streamers, what is the most common sense rule in streamer etiquette that you would share that maybe isn't so common in practice?
No self-promotion.
Yeah. But like not even just that. Trying to like 5D chess like your self-promotion so that it's like hidden, if you know what I mean.
Like the underhanded self-promotion that's kind of like, ooh, hold on, let me just sneak around this a little bit. But,
I'm about
imply.
to, it's like, it was nice watching your stream. I'm just gonna go do the same thing, yeah. I
think that self-promotion is probably the number one thing for most people who are live streaming that gets under their skin or on their nerves, right?
It's true.
Well, like... Basically, the main reason why I like say don't do it is because like one, it's not cool, and two, like in essence, self-promotion doesn't really do anything. But I don't want my chat. I don't want to set a precedent for my entire chat just to be like, check me out, I'm live, and I'm like, bro.
Yeah, I mean, other streamers' chats is not the correct place to promote your own streaming and activities.
Not at all.
It doesn't work.
Yeah, we're not your community bulletin
kind of
board.
Rude.
What, like, if you're gonna sit there and chat and be like, hey, yo, I'm like about to come stream, why don't you guys watch me? The people who are sitting there watching, like, for example, I'm in Jammy's chat and I'm like, yo, I'm gonna totally go stream now. Do you think they're gonna leave Jammy, whose community they're a part of, to come watch some random person promoting themselves in chat? Like,
I think I would
wishful
if
thinking.
The streamer endorsed it. Like, if that person said it and then the streamer's like, oh yeah, totally. Yeah, guys, if you don't know who this if you don't know who Striker Sly is promoting in Jammy's stream.
I just think this so, it kind of grinds my gears a little bit. Like, I would never allow that. I don't allow that in my chat. I'm like, this is not the time or the place. Do it in your own time. Go elsewhere.
Don't allow it.
Yeah, it's generally frowned upon in most communities, in most servers. People are like,
But I didn't do that. I didn't mean that. I just wanted people to know where I was going.
How does it make you feel if people do that though? Like, Jamie, I know that you've had somebody do that quite often in your streams previously.
Yeah, there was actually a person who did that often enough that I kind of like I had to reach out, and like I think it was like a positive thing that when I reached out for them, hopefully, like it wasn't me being like, stop self-promoting in my chat.
How dare
It was
you?
like, I know like this isn't coming from a bad place, but just so you know, like this happens quite a bit, and it really comes off as like, hey, I know you're all here watching Jammy play, but can you come watch me instead? And I kind of tried to explain that to them, and then they kind of understood, and they stopped doing it afterwards.
Did
but
they
I think
come
a lot
back
of
to
people
your
don't
streams
realize. Not as much, which also was kind of like some people you could tell kind of just do that to do that. Like they're not really part of your community. They just think if they're gonna post stuff,
right,
it will help them out. Like I feel like a lot of content creators are a lot more lenient, not necessarily in their chat, but like if there's someone that's a part of their community that's gonna start like working on projects or streaming, like you're usually pretty like, oh man, that's so cool, like supportive. But then there's other people that literally only show up to say like, hey,
I'm
hello?
going live.
Yeah.
Person I have only followed for 2 minutes. Check me out. Yo.
I think, you know, it's so interesting that you talk about that, Jam. Like you have the people who are part of your community and people who just join for the sake of self-promoting. That's a big thing in Discord servers as well, with like the self-promotion sections, right? Because like I have a rule that you have to be a member of the Discord and a member of the community in order to self-promote, because I don't want people promoting other people that aren't part of the community, right? But I also have a thing, like if you're only going to promote in the self-promotion section, if you're not going to interact with anyone, like don't. Do you know what I mean? Like unless you're like actively part of the community, it just feels like, in my personal opinion, it feels wrong just to self-promote. You know what I mean?
Okay, so like I was very similar to Sly with my Discord server. I heavily like moderated and approved like specific people. So if I know who they were and they were active in the Discord, I would make it so that they could post in the self-promotion section. I thought to myself, what does this do? Because like it's a Discord server, right? So I kind of opted just to allow people to post in the self-promotion section, but in order for people to post in the self-promotion section, they have to opt in for notifications in the self-promotion section. Meaning that the only people that are there are people that want to post or actively want to see it. So like
that's interesting.
Yeah, so before I was posting in the self-promotion section myself in my own server, but then I was just like, nah.
I know you had it quite strict, because I remember you had quite a strict like Discord policy. Mine is still very open. Like it's just like, hey, here's the regulation, you know, try to follow it. But I'm not sitting there being like, only these people are allowed to post. Like it's still open.
Yeah, I was really closed, and then I just went, basically anyone can do it. But here's the thing, like if people only want to be there for me, or if people only want to be there for VTubing stuff, or just the chat, they can they have to opt in order to see that. So like,
right.
I think right now in my self-promotion section there's like 100 people, and then in the general chat section there's like 700 people. So like, that's like the difference.
There's over 700 people, just so you know.
Oh,
no. Okay, so Jam and Fofa, I have prepared some scenarios from real chats that I have seen on Twitch in a live stream regarding self-promotion. And I want to hear your reaction to them. I want to know how you feel about them, and we're going to talk about the situations, okay?
Okay.
All right.
Okay. Conversation. Person 1. Hi, how are you? Hello, welcome in. I'm great, just playing a little Nightmares today. And you? Well, I'm about to start my stream and I wanted to say hi. Is this self-promotion?
That is self-promotion.
Yes.
That is underhanded self-promotion.
Okay, tell me more.
Basically, put it this way, right? If there's someone, okay, so like you can make the argument, well, what if you know the streamer? But that's not what we're talking about. Because like, let's be honest, anyone in any relationship like that, if it was someone that you knew that you were going into someone's stream, like you already have established relationship with, they already know you're going to stream. They know it.
Yeah.
So like by doing that, you're coming in with the sole purpose of saying, hey, I'm coming in to say hi. I'm not going to be here for very long, and I'm going to be streaming. It's just self-promotion. Like there's no ifs, ands, or buts. It's just they're just trying to hide it under the guise of a greeting.
So how can we change that then? Like, Jimmy, I feel like I've seen this previously, both in your and my chat, like something very similar to this. How can we change it? So even though we want to tell the streamer, hey, I'm popping in, what could someone say instead to be like, I'm going to go stream now? Like, what do you think we could say?
You could even say just like, hey, just popping in to say hi before work.
Hey, that's actually better than what I was thinking. I was just be like, hey, I just wanted to pop in and say hi. Sorry, I can't stick around, but hope you have a wonderful stream. Just like, be super cordial, right?
Yeah.
As a content creator, the people that just come in on a regular basis, like we notice them, right?
Yes.
So like there's been many times where like someone who's been a regular that just pops in to say hi, or they're just like a lurker, and I find out later they're a streamer. I'm just like, oh, that's cool. And I'm more like, because I discovered that myself, I'm more interested in finding out about them, right?
Right.
Versus if someone just came in and be like, oh yeah, I'm gonna come in and be like, yo, I'm gonna be streaming soon. Check out my stream. I'm streaming the same game. Yes.
Oh, you're playing Mass Effect? I'm gonna stream Mass Effect too.
Which I mean, to be fair, there's no monopoly over what games are being streamed, right? But like,
no, but like,
just like some people come in and say those things, and I'm just like,
then they could take it to the worst level too, being like, oh, the next perk coming up is really cool. Shut up.
You know what? I'm actually guilty of doing that once, and then I got listen. I got really excited. And I was like, oh my gosh. And then, like I thought about it afterwards, and I was like, that was really stupid. I mean, we're all we're all gonna make a mistake at some point or another, right? Yeah. But I mean, like I admitted, I said, ooh, maybe that was not the best thing to say, but yeah. Okay, I have another situation. Are we ready? I'm a new streamer and you're such a big streamer. I have only 50 followers and just hit affiliate. How do I get more people to watch my streams?
Here's the thing. I can see how people view that as self-promotion.
Yep.
But I don't think it's self-promotion. The only time it would go with self-promotion is like if they go, and I'm going to be live very soon, or I'm live right now. Right?
Here's the thing though. Unless you are actually there taking like somebody's advice, why bring it up in a live stream? If you have a question about growing your own stream, you should bring that into a more private environment, in a Discord, in a DM. Definitely not while someone is live streaming. If I am sitting there playing Witcher 3 and somebody comes in and says, you're such a big streamer, I just hit affiliate, I have 50 followers now, I want more people to watch my streams, what do I do?
Okay.
That to me,
it depends.
It's still a type of self-promotion.
It depends. Because it depends, one, on the kind of streamer, and two, what is currently going on. So like, for example, I've had that question. So I'd be streaming like something silly like Minecraft. Well, I love Minecraft, but I'd be streaming Minecraft. And I'm known for getting into conversations. And my YouTube channel itself, it talks about like streaming and VTubing and that kind of stuff. So for me, that question seems like a very genuine question that I tend to answer a lot, which is because it's so easy to answer, right? what you do is just basically say, look, here's the advice, or I just have a call to action, which is check out my YouTube channel. I talk about that. And if you have any other questions after you watch the video, come back.
I get where you're coming from. I get it. I think that it's the way that it's presented or who it's presented by. Do you know what I mean?
I think it's who it's presented to. It matters more.
I think it's
about
both.
that one.
If somebody in my community that I know fairly well and they ask me that question, I'm more than likely going to be like, hey, why don't you message me? We can talk about it. Or I'll say my general tips for growing a stream are putting in time and effort and not laying all your eggs in one basket, just very general. But at the same time, there is a time and a place. And I don't necessarily think that someone who focuses specifically on gaming, for example, like me, like that might not be the right place to do it. For you, yeah, you give advice and streaming advice and talk about that stuff.
Yeah.
For me, I'm more than happy to help people, but there is a time and a place, right?
Yeah, I would say, like, if you're in the middle of, like, let's say a shooty bang bang pew 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 game, right? And someone comes in and be like, how do I grow a stream? I'm affiliate now, haha. I want to get sub goal. Yes. Like, and then they're like, why aren't you answering my question? I type it again. Why? Answer my question. Did you read my message? And I'm just like, bro. But, like, do you know what I mean? Like, I don't get that often, but I have seen that. And, like, I think in that case, like, it's just demonstrating. I'm demonstrating the extreme. Context matters. So, like, I would say the example that you gave of you're playing The Witcher 3, and or if, like, if Jammy's doing, like, art and she's, like, drawing, or she's playing a game and she's into the game, this might not be the best time. But
unless it's like something that's already being talked about, I think bringing it up out of the randomly is not what you should be doing in somebody's stream. And here's the thing, Fofa, most people will say, at least I'm wondering, maybe the people who are watching this video will have an opinion about this. Do you think that this is a type of self-promotion? Because I see it as self-promotion in a very, I would say, in a sneaky way. It's advice, but you're still promoting, hey, I'm a streamer too. Look at my accomplishment. See what I'm doing.
Can I be honest? Okay, so for anyone that actually uses that as a sneaky, like, with the intention, so very clear, they have the intention to make it their sneaky way for self-promotion, it's not going to work. Because basically what you're saying is, I'm a brand new streamer. I don't know what I'm doing. You know what you're doing. So can you help me figure out what I'm doing? Because apparently I'm doing everything wrong. So, like, you're not selling yourself. And so, like, I think, like, that's inherently built into the question. Hence why I don't really see it as, like, you know, self-promotion. I kind of view that as, like, they're saying, hey, I genuinely want help because you're doing a great job. I respect what you're doing for the most part, or else they wouldn't be asking. And, like, help me out. Give me some quick advice. And, like, the reason why I'm more inclined to do that, because, like, it's an easy answer.
Don't get me wrong. I'm okay with giving advice to people. I just think, like I said, there's a time and there's a place. There's
Jamie, what do you think?
Yeah.
Yeah. I think there's, like, good points on both of your. I see both sides of this coin, because there's some times where you could be talking about, like, streaming and starting streaming, and someone could genuinely ask, like, I'm new to streaming, what advice would you give? But I also think that's I don't even know if I think it's like even a different, like, not even self-promotion, like, just kind of, I'm trying to think of a better word, a nicer word to say it, but, like, almost lazy. I'm sorry.
Actually, okay,
I'm sorry.
So
I'm just like
that too, right? Like, they could just literally go to YouTube and just type in how to grow as a streamer, and they'll get, like, 1 million YouTube channels.
I'm sorry.
But, like, I think it's different. Like, if you get the answer from someone that you know, or
Yeah.
you come
And,
to
like,
know.
you look
That's
up
what
to
I'm
them.
saying, though. If it's somebody that you know in your chat, like somebody you have already built a, like, I don't know what kind of relationships people build, but you know what I mean? Like, just if you have a rapport already with this person. So, like, if I'm in Fofa's chat and I'm be like, yo, Fofa, I see you're having a lot of success using this mocap system. Like, I want to know how to do that too. Like, can you give me some advice? Fofa
Actually,
has the tools.
I have a YouTube channel on exactly that.
But
So
that's
if you
what I'm saying,
type in
we
this
have that-
command in my chat, it'll bring you to my YouTube channel, and you can check out that video and get me those YouTube advertiser pennies.
I love that I would get the same response that every stranger coming into Fofa's chat gets. It's
Yeah.
like, no difference. Versus, like, if Jamie comes and be like, yo, Sly, like, I love what you just did here, whatever you have, how do I get that? And I'm like, whoa, Jam, I'll DM you. I'm so excited to tell you about it. Like, I already
Yeah.
do that anyway.
See, these
like-
examples, though, are more specific, I think. I think
Yeah.
the broadness of just asking, you're big, I'm small, what do I do to be you,
Right.
is so
Yes.
broad, right?
Yes.
It's
Do you
just
lift,
so
bro?
broad. Like, I think we kind of briefly talked about this before, where, like, Fofa gets this a lot about tech, and I used to get this a lot about cosplay, and it's like, how
Right.
do I cosplay? It's like, there's so many moving little parts to that. It's like, do you need advice about wigs? Do you need advice about fabric?
Can you give me more
do you need
specific
advice
example?
about buying things, like, at a craft store? Do you need advice
No,
about
how do
tools?
I
There's
become
so
anime?
many moving parts to, like, how do I stream? It's like, do you have a question about the
Like,
back
me-
end of,
yeah.
like, are you having technical problems? Are you, like, are social media? Like, there's so many things, and
Yeah.
just the broadness of that is kind of, I don't even know, like, if I consider, I don't know, it's in, like, that teetering edge of self-promotion, but the more so that bothers me is just that it's so broad of a question
Yeah, it's
that
not
there's not really
specific
an
enough,
answer
yeah.
for it,
Okay,
especially not on a live stream.
so can I give a piece of advice on how to handle this for everyone?
There's no one here to say no.
Great.
No, just
So-
kidding.
Here's the thing, right? If you're a content creator, you should be making content for other platforms, right?
As I said,
And-
don't
and
put all
here's
your
the
eggs
thing,
in one basket.
If you get asked a question over and over and over again, and you're sick of answering it, make a high quality video or a piece of content for another platform, YouTube, TikTok, or whatever. And then
High
next
quality,
time someone
Fofa says.
asks that question, just immediately shut them down by going, check out this.
Or I love how you say high quality, but it's the same thing. Like, people ask me about that shout out command. So I made literally a 2-minute video on Twitter about it. It's like, it's just, I was like, oh, check out my Twitter. Here's a link to it. You know, like, it's a way to get your content out there. It doesn't have to be high quality.
Well, I mean,
Because it was not a high
and
quality
high quality means like, so like a live stream is inherently not going to be as high quality as an edited video, because you're not going to have any of the stutters, you're not going to have any interrupts, you're not going to have any problems that are going to happen, because it's all going to be edited out. So that's what I mean by high quality.
I didn't edit that video at all.
Liar.
I didn't. Not that one.
Oh.
I just recorded it, and then I recorded it 7 or 8 times to make sure it was perfect. But nonetheless. Okay. Are you ready for situation number 3?
Sure.
What's behind door number 3? I rated you. You should follow me now.
No.
Have you guys ever gotten this one before?
Yes.
Here's the thing, right? I get it, because like there are people that I raid multiple times. Here, okay, so like there's a whole discussion to be had about rating. So if people on YouTube, if you don't know what rating is, I think on YouTube eventually it's gonna have this name called live redirects. Such a sexy name, right? But what it is if you end your stream, then you can bring all of your viewers to another stream. So if I'm streaming like Mario Party and like Jammy's streaming Mario Party, then I'll be like, hey everyone, we're gonna go check out Jammy. They're doing Mario Party as well. and then literally it just like refreshes the page, and then and then all of a sudden you're on Jammy's page, just like that. And then Jammy just gets all those viewers. Like, those viewers might stay, they might leave, who knows? But like, I've rated tons of people that are like the same size as me or a little bit smaller, because I like who they are. And then it feels bad when they don't follow you, especially if you like them, right? So like, I get that mentality, but I never like message them or go in their chats like, I rated you 5 times and you haven't followed me. It's like one, people just, one, you're not entitled to a follow. 2, sometimes people raid me and I mean to follow them because like I know who they are. I just forget. And then what makes it worse is that it happens enough, or the time has been so long that I just like, every time I remember to follow them was when they're live, and I'm just like, no.
Fofa doesn't like following people when they're live, by the way. For those who are curious why Fofa's like, no, it's because Fofa likes to do the offline follow so that she doesn't get called out. Like, oh my god, it's Fofa. Thank you so much for the follow.
It happens enough in channels that I have, like, I didn't think knew me at all, right?
Oh. Sometimes. Like, we'll be in a channel. Like, Fofa and I will be, like, Fofa will be in my stream, or I'll be in Fofa's stream, and we raid, and then, like, Fofa... Who was it? There was the one time that you got shutted out, but I wasn't, even though I was the raider. Do you remember that?
That happens often. That's why I don't that's why I stay in people's raids, but I don't say the message. Depending
Fofa got so mad.
I'm like, I'm not even the raider. Don't shout me out.
And Fofa comes up to me, she's like, I'm so sorry. They didn't shout you out, but they shouted me out. I was like, well, I don't care. I forgot. I don't even know. Anyway, sorry.
It happens, right? Like, I've been, not even just your streams, it's happened to me a couple times. Hence why I made a third account that no one knows about.
Can't wait for next time for Fofa to be on my stream. We go, oh my god, it's Fofa, everyone! Everyone, quick!
Whoa!
I just, that's why I lurk. It's nice to lurk. That way there's no pressure of having to talk.
I think the biggest thing, like, you should never expect, just because you raid somebody does not mean that they are going to follow you, nor should you expect that they're going to follow you. As much as we would like it, it's a nice thing. It's not mandatory on either party to follow each other, right? Like, just because I raid somebody doesn't necessarily, like, I'm going to raid somebody that I enjoy watching, that I like their content. I spend 10 minutes before a raid to listen to their content. And then, like, as I'm talking to my chat and as I'm streaming,
you do it so
still,
differently. I keep forgetting.
And like, I'm listening to them talk, and I'm like, oh, okay, I like where their content is, and I'm still talking. I mean, there's usually like a 2-minute lull where I'm just like, I get distracted.
I don't know how you do
hard.
That.
It's really hard. It just takes practice. But at the same time, I should not expect them to follow me back. That's not fair.
Like, if you want to think about it this way, like, imagine like a big honcho streamer like Asmongold, right?
Okay.
If you're like streaming to like 100 people and you rate Asmongold streaming to 20,000, like, are you gonna expect Asmongold to follow you back? No. So like, why is that any different in any other scenario, right?
Exactly.
People have things going on in their life. People might not, like, Twitch might not be their full-time career. They might have other things going, right?
Like, speaking of raids, I saw this one posted recently and somebody was talking about it, but raid spoiling. Do you know what I mean by that?
Oh, I hate that.
Jam, do you know what I mean by that?
I think I saw something about it recently. Isn't it when somebody comes in before the raid and is like, this?
Yes. Yes.
You know what I've done in those cases? I stopped the raid and I just raided someone else instead. Because, like, that's not cool. Like, do you know what I mean? It's supposed to be like a surprise. It's supposed to be fun. It's an event. And then coming, like, basically the person that does that, they're stealing the thunder.
Yeah.
And like, they're getting rid of the surprise of things, right? I don't know. Is it bad of me to be so spiteful towards that person who's spoiling it to just cancel the raid and raid someone else? Yeah. But it discourages it.
I haven't really had it happen to me much. So when I saw people talking about it, I was like, oh. But maybe I just didn't notice. Maybe I just didn't notice.
I mean, like, you've never had somebody come into your chat and be like, oh my gosh,
This person's
is going to raid you. Oh.
Not that I can think of off the top of my head, but I haven't been streaming as much as I used to, so maybe that's why. Shame, I know. Shame on me and my beeping noise.
Dang. It has happened to me a few times, and like my raid will get spoiled because somebody will go into their chat and be like, oh my gosh, they're gonna raid you. And I'm like, well, I don't want to raid that person. Now that's no more fun. Like, it's not. The whole point is like them to be surprised. Like, I enjoy the surprise, you know, when you go into someone's chat and they're like, whoa, yo, thank you so much. I love the excitement. I'm like, that's nice. Like, you know what I mean? But if like, oh yeah, this
like
person
nice
told me you were gonna raid. I'm like,
well,
it's unnecessary too. Like what is the point of it?
Yeah, like that. Actually, that's a huge thing in VR chat. Like back when I streamed VR chat, so that's like for a long time. I wouldn't even say who I'm raiding. I just would talk about the person without saying the name, and then I would just go through with the raid. So like, I think like if you're having that kind of a problem when you're raiding people, I think honestly the best way to adopt it is to do that.
right.
Just talk about like, because I mean, if you're one of those people that hand off streams, because I know not everyone does that.
So I have one last situation. This is actually a message that somebody had sent to me, and I thought I'd add it in here so that you guys could give me some feedback and your opinions on this one in regards to our topic of self-promotion, okay? Hey, I wondered if you could raid me after your stream. It's my birthday, and I want more people to see my streams.
I have been there. It is not nice. It is not fun.
How do they message you?
What do you mean?
Okay. So, can I just say that if they came into my stream and did that, I would ignore that message.
They DM'd me.
But the thing is though, those specific people who do it through DMs, they are the reasons why my DM is closed.
This is on Twitter.
Yeah, exactly.
It's somebody that I know. So it's a little bit different. I see where you're coming from because, yes.
I get those messages from people I don't know.
Yeah, I get them too, and I ignore them. But this is somebody that I know, and it's actually not the first time it's happened either. It does happen though, right? Because I know, Jam, you said you've had this happen to you.
Yes.
Tell us about it.
Tell us about it.
It's
Tell
it's
us
the same
about your
person.
trauma.
It was all the same person for me too, which was just like interesting, right? It's like all of these things we've talked about, the same person has popped into my head a little bit.
That same person has ticked off all
literally,
the boxes.
literally. Oh gosh, yeah. I remember they messaged me saying they were gonna do a re-debut stream, and they said, "Hey, can you host it?" And I think I just ignored it. And they also messaged they also typed in my chat like, "Hey, you should raid me." Or their partner typed in my chat, "You should raid so and so." And I wasn't even close to finishing my stream either, and it was just like
I actually okay.
And they would only show up and say that sort of stuff is the thing too.
Yeah.
That's all they would sometimes they would raid me and and then they'd like, I don't know, they would never be around much other than those times that they would say those things to me. And it was kind of like,
That's a big thing, though, is like having people come into your chat for one purpose and one purpose only. And a lot of those times it's for promotion of self.
Like, listen, if you're going to do that kind of stuff, at least do it smart. Right? Be smart about it. Like, don't just like, rush to get your finger in the pie, right? Like, get your knife and fork, get your napkin, take some time.
I was like, is this an expression?
Some
I don't know.
Take some time, chop it up in little pieces, and put it in your little mouth, right? Don't just be like, I want my pie. No, you can't do that.
Oh
Like,
my gosh.
okay, Jamie, my recommendation. Okay, so don't listen to me. Basically, I'm just gonna say, don't listen to me, because my recommendation was about to be like, yeah, that's why I turn on chat delay 6 seconds maximum. So if I see that stuff, I delete it.
Well, the thing was, I eventually reached out to this person in private and kind of told them how I felt about it, and told them, like, I know this isn't coming from a bad place, but, like, just know this is how I feel about it. And then they pretty much, like, kind of disappeared.
Yeah, which means that they were only there for that purpose.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's funny that you say that they disappeared after doing that, because we had somebody in our chat as well who would just pop by for a shout out, and then they would not even be there like afterward. Do you know what I mean? They would leave as soon as they got the shout out.
They'd be like, yeah, they would leave as soon as they got the shout out. So I stopped shouting them out.
Yeah, and then they stopped coming by.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
And then I would like
just to
shout
say
them
hi
out
is
because
fine, but
I like their
hi
content.
for a shout out. Yes.
And then I would be like, trying to talk with them like a minute later, not there. And then I refresh my chat, they're gone.
Yeah.
I'm like, what the heck?
There are better ways to grow your stream.
Oh, okay. So what do you think about the raids of like, okay, so I've had this happen. So since that was the last scenario, can I bring up a scenario?
Yes.
You notice that the same person raids you with one viewer.
Oh, huh? Yes.
Okay, so to put this in the context, I noticed that the same person like once a week or twice a week would raid me with one person around the same time. And I'd be like, oh, thank you for the raid. But like after a while, I'm just like, something's fishy here. So I went to see if they were actually, streaming. So that's what I do now, even when I'm modding other people's streams, is if there's like a raid of one person, I will go to their stream, their page, and see if they were actually streaming. And sometimes they aren't. They haven't been streaming. And this one particular person, basically what they would do is they would raid and then say some things. And then what they would do is then immediately start another raid to another person. Like they had a list of people to raid. Because you can infinitely raid people. Like there's no cooldown to it.
That's so weird. It's so weird that I feel like it's so weird that people put the energy and time into doing this when they could actually just put it into streaming and they would get the results they actually want.
Yeah.
Because
that happened to me the other day, Fofa, and I know I told you about it. I was like, it literally raided with one person 3 times every minute. Like 1 minute. At the second minute, third minute, they were raiding with one person. And I was like, I don't care how many people you raid with, but there is, if you're doing it over and over again, I know you're just being a troll. It's suspicious.
It's the same as
activity.
be like it's the same as being like, I raided you. Why'd you follow me back? Right? It's the same thing.
Follow, unfollow. It's like we talked about that in the trolls episode. Remember we talked about that one particular person who would follow, unfollow, follow, unfollow, follow, unfollow, follow, unfollow, follow, unfollow all the time, right?
Yeah.
Just to get the thank you. It's
Yeah.
like that behavior. In general, how do you guys feel about self-promotion? Like, I know, like, Jam, you keep, like, you're thinking about that one person that was just like, check, 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 check. Here's all the ways to self-promote. I'm going to tick every single box.
Yeah.
How does it make you feel?
It's
Come step into my
there was like
office.
a really good some example I saw of somebody explaining it. Come back to me in like 2 seconds. I want to see if I can find it because it was really good, and I remember I sent it to you at some point.
Here's the thing. Like, when you're watching a content creator, we get a platform,
Right.
and sometimes we have monetary benefits with that, which we don't need to talk about here. And then what you get out of it is, like, it's a give and take relationship, right? Like, we give content. Then, like, what you give to us is just, like, sometimes just a conversation or being part of the community, right? What do we get out of our viewers? Like, we get, I'm trying to think in terms of general, right? Because, like, what I get is often I'll get really awesome conversations from people. I get to learn things that I wouldn't learn otherwise. But, like, I know not a lot of other people like that, because I'm thinking of some people who just do gaming and they don't have the, like, the deep dive conversations that you have and that sometimes Jammy has, right?
I feel like as a community, it's people with a shared common interests that come together. Do you know what I mean? So, like, for me in gaming, I can play a bunch of different games and I'm always meeting people who are interested in that kind of stuff. It's like, it's not just, okay, yes, people like Mass Effect, whatever, but I can have conversations about sci-fi, Star Trek, like things that are interesting to me, things that I like.
Oh,
know?
yeah, so, like, yeah, that's what we get out of it. We get a great conversation in terms of live streaming, right?
Yeah. I mean, I think the community members play a crucial role in, like, how you develop as a streamer.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. So here's the thing, right? The people that come in to do only the self-promotion thing, they break that.
Yeah.
Right? They're not there for your content. They're not there to contribute to any kind of conversation. They actually are blatantly saying, I don't care about you. The only thing I care about is that you're bigger.
Right.
Right? So they're devaluing you as a person. And then they're trying to just use you in that way. So they're basically using you as a means to an end versus viewing you as an end in itself.
Right. It's a little bit
Immanuel
demeaning,
Kant.
isn't it? It's a little bit, I guess, like, in terms of, like, somebody coming in to self-promote it, it's, I wouldn't say that I feel hurt. I'm more irritated. For me, when I go into somebody's chat, and it's so funny because this happened the other day, I was in my friend's chat. I was watching their content. I watch them every morning when I wake up before I stream. If I get downstairs on time, that's a big thing. You gotta wake up real early, you know, wake up at 6 o'clock and I can watch them for a little bit. But, like, when I'm watching them, I'm not gonna be like, yo, I'm about to stream, homie, you know, I'll check you later. You know, like, I'm not gonna say that. I'm more like, oh, hey, like, I really wanted, like, to stay longer, but I have a few things to do, so I'm gonna head off, but you have a great stream. We'll chat later. And it's funny because this person, they know when I stream. Like, we've built that relationship, and, like, have a good stream, Sly. And I'll be like, it was supposed to be a secret. Shh. Shh. But, like, the thing is like, when you build that relationship with someone, then it's fine. They themselves are calling you out for streaming. But if you go into someone's stream, be like, I'm gonna go and stream now, so, like, bye.
Goodbye.
I feel that's just so rude and so selfish and not really considering who you're talking. Like, what is the purpose? Besides, yes, you think that it's going to somehow make your channel grow.
Which it won't.
Inherently, you are burning a bridge with that streamer. You are basically, like, if you think that that's okay in that person's stream, you're very wrong. And you are going to burn a bridge, and that person is only therefore going to see you as that self-promoter. You know what I mean? You come into my stream and you self-promote, I am not ever going to think of you as somebody that I will think about rating. I'm not going to think about supporting somebody who does that. It should be common sense by now I feel like it's talked about so much everywhere that we shouldn't have to say, yo, no self-promotion rules in my chat.
I agree with you, but for a different reason. And the
Okay.
reason why I probably would never raid a self-promoter in my stream, to be clear, in my stream.
Right, correct.
On Discord, it's a different thing because that's actually a
Correct.
sanctioned area, right? But so if someone comes
Yes.
to my stream and says, come check out my stream, I'm playing Minecraft, haha. Like, I'm never gonna check them out because like, why are you coming here to do that?
Yeah.
It means you don't value me for the
You
reasons
don't-
that I said before.
Yes. Right.
So like, why should I value you? There's no reason to check that person out.
Jam, were you able to find that post?
No, but I do kind of remember, I think it was along the lines of like, when you do those sorts of things in a chat, you kind of push the streamer into a corner where they either have to engage with your behavior or ignore it. And it
Right.
just, it makes them uncomfortable and is not a good impression. And
I think I know what post you're talking about. Was
Yeah.
this Twee's post? Was this Tweet this week posted about something like that?
no. This was a long time ago.
Okay.
Because this is, like, I think I shared it with you back when stuff was happening.
Okay, I was like, I've actually done both of those things, where I would just flat out ignore it, or like if
Yeah.
I'm in like in a particularly sour mood, like if I'm in an okay mood, but like something could just set me off and it puts me in a sour mood. I've
Yeah.
actually turned like a normal stream into just like a 1 hour like tangent talking about how to grow as a streamer and what you should or shouldn't do. Like, do you know what I mean? Like I wouldn't just be like ranting at my chat, but like I would change that as the topic of conversation for people in my chat to talk about. But like,
I mean, I have no issues ranting. That's literally the appeal of me, is that I have these random
I found that like it happened
moments of
it happened most when I stream Minecraft.
right.
It's like, do you know what I mean? They like
Yeah.
it'd be like, oh, you're so bad at Minecraft, you should check my stream out. I'm doing it better. And I'm just like,
No.
Oof. Because you remember, Fofa, a couple weeks ago, I went on that little rant about self-promotion because somebody had kept coming by to tell me like that they were gonna leave to go watch somebody else, right?
yeah.
Or go to stream. And I was in a particularly, as Fofa put it, sour mood. And I was like, no self-promoting in my chat. How dare you?
And they're like, I wasn't self-promoting.
I wasn't self-promoting.
Oh, yeah.
I was like, you are.
Okay, wait, I didn't want to talk about this because it's technically not self-promoting, but like,
Okay.
it's in the same boat, right?
Yeah.
Like, if you're gonna go watch someone else, cool, that's fine. That's great. I do the same thing, right? If I'm
Yeah.
watching someone and someone else that I want to watch more comes up, because like, you know, as much as we don't want to admit it, we all have favorites.
Yes.
Like, you know, you just be nice. Think about their feelings. Just make up something came up, or I have some things to do, I'll see you later. Right?
Yeah.
And then you go to the other person's stream. Don't be like, oh, Iron Mouse came online, so I don't have time for your stream right now. I'm gonna go watch a better stream. Iron Mouse. Twitch.tv/Iron Mouse. If anyone was curious. Right? Like, I'm sure that the actual content creator that you're gonna go view, if they knew that's what you were saying in other people's streams, I'm sure they would not appreciate that.
Right. I was just thinking because like the things we're talking about, recently I was looking at a lot of like, you guys know who Twee is, right?
Yeah, I know who Twee is.
Yeah. So they had some
trapped in Twin Tails' basement.
they have had some recently great posts on Twitter regarding like things that might be controversial to talk about in terms of like streamer etiquette. They have a lot of really, really good posts that they've popped up on my feed and whatnot, and they kind of initiated some good conversation regarding like promoting in chat, or even after a raid being like, do you want to see all the things that I'm working on? Because like Twee's an artist, so that happens a lot too when they raid, oh, check out what I was working on. And like they said that it put them in a very strange position, because you're one trying to show what you've been working on, but at the same time it's like making the person that you've rated feel awkward and weird. Like, what are you expecting them to give back to you? I don't know. Self-promotion kind of presents itself in a bunch of different ways. It's not just like what we talked about, like raid me after because it's my birthday, or you should follow me because I rated you, or check out my stream, I'm streaming too. It's a lot of like other, like you were saying, Fofa, underhanded, strange ways to be like, hey, I am also cool.
Yeah.
Look at me. I am the captain now.
Yeah.
Like,
okay, so here's the thing, right? I think there's a way to say that without putting the streamer in an awkward situation. And this happens in most raids. Like when you are when you raid someone,
right,
you generally ask them, what were you up to? And like if you say, I was doing art, that could be the end of it there. And that's fine. The streamer could be like, oh, cool, awesome, I'll check you out later, right? And that's it. Versus, hey, can you send me a link? Let's check it out right now if you don't mind, right? Like, give the streamer the chance to ask for it themselves, because if they have the time, if it's not interrupting their flow, that's fine. Don't say, check out my art. Give them that opportunity to do it themselves. They're the captain.
I am the captain, not you. Yeah, 100%. There are so many ways that we can like say like don't do self-promotion or whatever, but maybe we can give some advice to people who are starting to live stream on better ways to gain outreach and grow their streams. So we'll turn it over to Jamie, the master of TikTok, to tell us more.
I think the biggest advice, and we hear it all the time, is, to grow on platforms. Gotta branch out to other platforms and post content. So that could be Twitter, TikTok, YouTube, whatever you may like, whatever your heart desires, maybe one appeals to you more than any other. I think just making content and sharing it, is a really good first step.
To add to that is a lot of platforms, not Twitch, will give you lots of analytics and tools to see where engagement peaks, what keeps people's viewers, and they'll give tips on how to do better things. So like YouTube gives so many tools to see like what you're doing right and what you're doing wrong. And you should really try to take it, like, not only make content like Jamie says on multiple platforms, which is awesome advice, but also try to use the information available to you to grow. Don't just like post the same thing over and over and over again, hoping that one day there's going to be success.
That's the definition of insanity. Doing the same thing over and over and over again, expecting a different result. Like you said, like Fofa, you always tell me to look at the engagement information that's posted on YouTube. And like we always look at it. And yeah, it does kind of show you, okay, so I see where they're like the viewers are dropping off, I see where they're coming back, I see where like my views are peaking, etc. It's the same thing with like YouTube Shorts or on TikTok. Like as much as we want to say like we can't focus on numbers, there are better ways for us to promote ourselves without interfering with somebody else's, streamer life. Like we have a responsibility as streamers, as content creators, to put in the effort to grow our own streams. It's not Jamie's responsibility to make me grow. It's not Fofa's responsibility to make me grow. And I shouldn't be promoting myself in their chats hoping that they're going to set me up for success. I am in charge of my own success, right?
And just to play devil's advocate here, for those of you who are still listening, I mean, I doubt you're still here, because if you're like, what you're saying is garbage, and I think self-promotion is awesome.
I want to self-promote forever.
My friend self-promoted, and they're president now.
You're This is
But, okay,
baloney.
So for people out there, right? If you still don't believe us, imagine the scenario where you do get rated. It does pay off. What does it give you? Now, I want you to not think about it in terms of you, the streamers, and the raid receiver. Think about it in terms of when you were in someone's stream, how often do you stick with the raid and follow? And when you follow, how often do you continue to watch that rated person throughout the year? Most people watch who they want to watch. They're not going to watch someone because someone tells them to watch them. Ultimately, it's their choice.
Yep. Every viewer has a choice
I'm
of who they're going to watch.
subscribing now. You made me angry.
Oh no.
My diaper.
For real though, there's a lot of things that we could talk about things like not to do on Twitch, and I think we'll save a lot of those things for another time. But self-promotion is one of the biggest things that gets under the skin of most streamers out there, and I'm sure most of you will agree. And if you don't, well, I am sorry.
We should get Twee on for a part 3 of this conversation.
Sure. They have great opinions.
Yeah.
All right, guys. So thank you so much for tuning in and listening.
Thanks.
It's Virtual Offline, and we'll see you next time.
See you next time.
Bye.
Bye, everyone.
Check out my stream.
No. Watch me. I'm streaming now. Bye-bye, guys.